has done an incredible job over the last 4.5 years to get to learn more about technology than I've ever been able to learn in that same time period. And he's done an incredible job with this committee and bringing more awareness to the technology issues in our state. And Mr. Chairman, thank you very much for your leadership, and I'm very happy for you in your new role, and very happy for you to stay heavily engaged in everything that we do in technology in this committee, which I will call on you in a second to handle a bill. But first, I'd like to call up Senate Bill 2059 and recognize Senator Johnson to explain the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This bill is exactly like the one we passed out of the Senate last year that made it out of House committee and then didn't get brought up on the floor. All it does is sets up a task force to look at how K through 12 and specifically K through 12 can implement AI in education. The idea behind that is to make sure that resources are available to schools that don't normally have resources. I know Senator Blackman made an amendment last year, and if you'll see, we've included that in the task force to make sure that the members from different school districts are from different school districts so that more accurately represents the entire state and the needs for each district. And the idea is that some districts have less resources or more resources. Some districts may have more of a fear of using AI, and some may be overzealous in using AI in education. And we want to find a path that works for students to better prepare them to use AI in their life, as it's something that is going to continue to be here. And so that's all the bill does, is sets up a task force to do that. And I'll answer any questions if y'all have any.
Are there any questions for Senator Johnson? I do have a question on this. Is there a report that is provided back to the legislature, or where's the report go?
Yes, let me.
Or findings?
I think it goes to a few different people.
Okay.
And I apologize, I don't know off the top of my head, but so they're going to provide recommendations to
the Lieutenant Governor, Speaker of the House. That's
okay.
Very good. Okay,
Thank you.
I just want to make sure that it got back to us in case we needed to make any modifications through our.
Because the idea is that they will gather the information, work with school districts, work with technology, and then provide us with what we can do policy-wise to move forward.
Great. All right. Any other questions? You have a motion? Motion is title sufficient to pass. All those in favor? Any opposed? All right, great. We'll go ahead and send that to Education Committee. Thank you very much, sir. All right, next bill is 2443. I'd like to recognize Mr. Chairman to handle this bill. Chairman Williams, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to echo your comments a moment ago. Technology is a true team effort with your leadership prior to mine and the members of the committee here. And as we know, we have become a technology destination, and there are a lot of things happening, and it will continue to happen. Kind of leads us into this Technology Innovation Fund. As many of us have worked with ITS and their leadership over the last months, they've come up with this model currently on IaaS, which is infrastructure as a service, software as a service. We've heard about cloud-related professional services. These have a 1% fee that's tacked onto them. It's been going into the general fund. It's a few $100,000. I don't know the exact amount. But what this will do is divert that and give it to ITS to set up some different houses, if you will. And I'll be glad to go through this in detail. I may on the floor if we get it out of here. But for the sake of brevity, I'm kind of hit the high points, if you will. You know, they're going to have an AI innovation hub. As we just attested to, we've got things happening all over the place with AI, and ITS is going to kind of be tasked with being that central source to look at it. How do we best deploy it to our state assets and get the economies of scale with it, also providing opportunities for our local stakeholders that aren't required to. But as we go down this path, and as many of us investigated, this is like, you know, right now it's out there. Hey, squirrel, this is a new thing out there. We've got to be methodical as we go forward. It helped fund that. We've got the Cloud Center of Excellence. There are several bills that are working that are going to be pushing agencies to go to cloud and getting away from legacy systems. The more subject matter expertise we can house in ITS, again, that would be a funding mechanism as we look at those things. Enterprise-wide innovation, and as we look at going to cloud. We're going to have agencies that have very informed IT staffs and some that don't. We need that central source for people to call and go to so that we've got an enterprise level deployability of cloud services and know, again, how to best utilize the state dollars. So kind of in short, that's what this technology fund will do. And I think there'll have to be some type of an appropriations, probably transfer as well. This is the enabling legislation as I understand it. I'd yield for any questions, Mr. Chairman.
The members of the committee have a question?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On section 3, it's got the objectives of the fund shall include but are not limited to the following. And I'm just trying to see, is there any mechanism or review to see if if the funds are going to those objectives?
Let me get over here. I don't have the whole bill. Yes, there are, as I understand it, there again, as attested to earlier, there will be reports given to the chairs of the technology committees, lieutenant governor, and speaker of house. So that opportunity to look at that. And as we're looking, and we'll have another bill in this committee next week, there's an open-endedness to some of this. Just because AI is it's out there and it's moving, we need some flexibility. We've kind of come up with the term sandbox. Obviously, we got to be stewards of the money. We've got to be able to account for all those. I don't mean to imply that, but that's why it says and other things. Who knows what 6 months from now may be something we want to look at and invest in. But there would be an accountability on the back end of it. Yes, sir. Good question.
Thank
Yeah, and Mr. Chairman, I'm going to ask you a question if you don't mind on this too. And this is just
As long as it's easy.
yeah, it will be. Actually, in section 7, it just kind of reiterates. I just want to make sure everybody understands that we're not doing anything with money here. This is the enabling legislation to create the fund. The amount of money that is that will be available to this fund can come from a multitude of sources. There's also some private dollars that have come in or that may come to the state that ITS will be able to deploy for these types of purposes. And I think this is probably a right place to say this and to acknowledge that or some of the people that are in the room, the effort that our community colleges have all led through the main network and what is being done to try to help with businesses as well as efficiencies of government is nothing short of remarkable. And what they've been able to provide. I know there's been a lot of discussions within state agencies on how to utilize AI, the ideas that come out of the agencies. And we know with technology where we need to be within cloud resources and stuff, but the actual process of converting what the agencies need through the use of AI to get to this ITS and use of technology is what Maine is trying to help agencies understand. And they do this for everyone, but specifically in this particular case, that it would be germane to this bill. It would give them the opportunity. It would give the opportunity for ITS to utilize funds to help with those sandbox issues so that we can look at lessons learned and look at the things that we can do to improve upon this and to help offset some of the costs that are going to be a component of this. And we also know that a sandbox is not supposed to be perfect. It will not be perfect, but that's why we have the guardrails internally. And we have another bill next week that's a single referred bill that will address some of these issues. But so I appreciate your efforts on this. I know this is something that you've worked on with the agency ITS for quite some time. Community college leaders in the state, thank you very much. Incredible work that y'all keep doing. Keep gunning that out. All right. Is there a motion? All those in favor? Any opposed? All right, thank you. And that will wrap us up for today. Just to give you a little bit of note, on Tuesday, we'll do single referred bills. I believe we have like 3 or 4 that we'll do at that time. So thank you very much for your attendance today. Thank you for everybody here. Roger. Continued work.